The fluorescent lights of the pharmacy buzzed overhead as Jennifer Walsh cradled her 6-month-old daughter, Maya, against her chest. Maya's tiny body was warm, her cheeks flushed from 2 days of relentless crying due to a painful ear infection. Jennifer's heart sank as the pharmacist, his face etched with sympathy, delivered the crushing news. "I'm so sorry, Ms. Walsh, but your insurance claim was denied. The antibiotic for Maya's ear infection will cost $137. The words hit like a punch to the gut. Jennifer's checking account held a measly $42, and payday was still 5 days away. Her mind raced, calculating impossible math while Maya whimpered softly in her arms. The pediatrician had been crystal clear, this antibiotic wasn't optional. Without it, Maya's condition could spiral into something far worse. Jennifer swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. "Is there a generic version?" She already knew the answer, but desperation clung to every syllable. The pharmacist shook his head, his tone heavy with regret. "This is the generic. The brand name version would run you over $200. Jennifer shifted Maya to her other arm, her mind scrambling for solutions that didn't exist. Her credit cards were maxed out from a string of medical bills that had haunted her since her husband's death 8 months ago. Her family was thousands of miles away, too far to help in time. Maya needed this medicine now, not later. "Can you hold the prescription until Friday?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I'll have the money then." The pharmacist nodded, his kindness almost unbearable. "Of course, but please, no ear infections can escalate quickly in infants. If she spikes a fever or seems in more pain, take her to the ER immediately." The mention of the emergency room sent a fresh wave of panic through Jennifer. An ER visit would mean bills in the hundreds, maybe thousands, piling onto the debt she was already drowning in. She blinked back tears, determined to hold it together for Maya's sake. "I understand," she managed, her voice cracking. "Thank you for your patience." As she turned to leave, her mind spinning with how to keep Maya comfortable for 5 more agonizing days, a quiet voice broke through her thoughts. "Excuse me. Charge the medicine to me." Jennifer turned, startled, to see a man standing behind her in line. He was in his late 30s, dressed in a sharp navy coat that screamed success, but his dark eyes were warm, locked on Maya's flushed face with a tenderness that caught Jennifer off guard. "Sir," she stammered, embarrassment flooding her cheeks, "that's incredibly generous, but I can't possibly accept." The man stepped forward, unfazed, and handed his credit card to the pharmacist, who hesitated, glancing between them. "My name's Daniel Rivera," he said, his voice steady but kind. "And that little girl needs her medicine today, not next week." Jennifer's breath caught. This stranger, this Daniel Rivera, was offering to pay $137 for her daughter's prescription without knowing a single thing about her. "Mr. Rivera, this is a lot of money," she said, her voice shaking. "I don't even know how I'd repay you." Daniel's gaze softened as he looked at Maya, who had quieted, her big eyes studying him with the curious intensity only a baby could muster. "I'm not asking you to repay me," he said gently. "I'm asking you to let someone help your daughter feel better." The pharmacist processed the payment, and Jennifer stood frozen, torn between overwhelming gratitude and the sting of needing help from a stranger. When the pharmacist handed her the small bottle of antibiotics along with dosing instructions, it felt like a lifeline. "Thank you," she whispered to Daniel, her hands trembling as she clutched the medicine. "I don't know what to say. Just give Maya her medicine and help her feel better," Daniel replied with a small smile. "That's all the thanks I need." As they walked toward the parking lot, Jennifer felt an urge to explain herself, to make this man understand she wasn't someone who always needed saving. "Mr. Rivera," she began, "I'm not usually in this position. My husband passed away 8 months ago, and I've been trying to manage on my own with Maya. The insurance is a mess because of his death, and my job. It just doesn't cover everything." Daniel listened, his face free of judgment, only understanding. "You're doing everything you can for your daughter," he said quietly. That's what matters. Maya's lucky to have a mom who puts her first, no matter what. His words hit Jennifer like a warm breeze, cutting through the shame she'd been carrying. When had anyone last seen her struggle and called it strength? I clean offices at night, she admitted, almost shyly. It lets me be with Maya during the day, but the pay barely covers our bills. I've been looking for something better, but without a degree and with childcare. She trailed off, worried she'd overshared. Daniel was quiet for a moment, and Jennifer braced herself, fearing she'd said too much. Then he spoke, his tone careful but deliberate. Ms. Walsh, I own a consulting firm downtown. We're looking for someone to handle administrative tasks, scheduling, client communications. It's full-time, with benefits, including health insurance and on-site childcare. Jennifer stared at him, disbelief washing over her. You're offering me a job? After meeting me in a pharmacy? Daniel's lips curved into a gentle smile. I'm offering you a job because I see someone who puts her child first, handles impossible situations with grace, and knows the value of hard work. It sounded too good to be true, but there was a sincerity in Daniel's eyes that made her want to believe him. Why would you do this? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel glanced at Maya, now asleep in her arms, her tiny chest rising and falling peacefully. Because 18 months ago, I was in a similar place, he said softly. Not financially, but emotionally. My wife passed away, leaving me to raise our daughter, Sophie, alone. I was overwhelmed, completely out of my depth. A stranger in a coffee shop saw me struggling and offered help without judgment. That moment reminded me that accepting help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. His words resonated deep within Jennifer, stirring a shared sense of loss and resilience. Today, Daniel continued, I saw you handling an impossible situation with such strength, all for your daughter. You deserve support, not charity. 6 months later, Jennifer was thriving at Rivera Consulting. Her organizational skills and genuine care for clients transformed the office, earning her respect and a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. Maya was flourishing in the on-site daycare, giggling with new friends while Jennifer worked nearby. Over time, her professional relationship with Daniel deepened into a friendship built on mutual respect and shared experiences. One afternoon, as they watched Maya and Sophie play together in the office playroom, Daniel's voice was soft but steady. Jennifer, you and Maya have brought something to our lives, mine and Sophie's, that I didn't realize was missing. I know this complicates things, but I have feelings for you. Jennifer's heart skipped. This man, who had seen her at her lowest and responded with kindness, was now offering something more. You saved us that day in the pharmacy, she said softly. Daniel shook his head. We saved each other. Maya and Sophie needed to see that families can grow in unexpected ways. And you and I. We needed to learn that love can grow from respect and shared values. 2 years later, Jennifer and Daniel married in a joy-filled ceremony, with Maya and Sophie stealing the show as flower girls. At the reception, as Jennifer danced with her husband under twinkling lights, their daughters laughing nearby, she marveled at how a moment of desperation had led to a life she'd never dared to dream of. It all began with a stranger who saw her worth when she felt worthless, who chose to invest in her potential rather than judge her circumstances. And if you're moved by stories of unexpected kindness and second chances, head over to my YouTube channel, Midnight Tales, where I share more heartwarming tales that remind us how small acts can change lives forever. Subscribe and join our community of dreamers and believers in the power of human connection.